Welcome back, my dear ladies, to a new episode of the Amazing Aquarian Age Woman. I'm Tanja, your host, and I love to portray women from all over the world and have them tell their unique story. Every story is unique, and so is yours. If you want to be interviewed, you can contact me. There is a Calendly link below the video, and you can request to have a first chat with me. We'll get to know each other and we'll take it from there. You can also hire me for a personalized interview portrait. That will be for your own website, so you can connect deeper to your customers, to your soulmate customers, and tell your unique story. I'd love to get to know you. Okay, so everyone has a unique story, and so has Hayley, whom I am invited today. Hi, Hayley.
Hi, Tanja.
Hayley is in South Africa and she leads Family Constellations. So, Hayley, now we want to know what a family constellation is.
Hi, Tanja. Okay, so Family Constellation is a combination of things. It's a very experiential type of a healing modality. It touches on systemic theory and psychotherapy, as well as epigenetics, like carrying trauma from one generation to another. And it was developed by Bert Hellinger, a psychotherapist who was working here in South Africa. And he noticed that the Zulu people would heal many of the things that were going wrong in their lives by communicating with the ancestors. And what he realized was that all of us are connected to the souls of our ancestors up to seven generations back. And so he developed this modality to figure out how their lives and their journeys have influenced our own lives. And so that's the crux of Family Constellation. It's it's very experiential, so it's very difficult to explain the actual process, but it is a healing modality that combines psychotherapy, epigenetics, and a little bit of energy healing.
Mm-hmm. And but what are the usual problems people want to solve with it?
Yes, we get a variety of problems. People will come to me because they're suffering in grief and they want to connect with perhaps people who've passed on. Or people will come to me because they're having family dynamics issues within their original family, or those with their children, or even marriage problems with their spouse. It's really about connection, human connection. And so, Family Constellation addresses all of these aspects of our humanity as a whole. And sometimes we will deal with past lives or karmic issues because your own journey as a soul carries all of these energetic patterns and impacts the life that you are leading.
Interesting. And how does it usually work? For somebody who's maybe never taken any constellations or done any constellations, how exactly does it work? What would I have to do if I take a constellation with you?
So when I work one on one with people, and I'm working on Skype or Zoom, which is quite common, and I do that with people from around the world, I will basically take you on a visual journey. We might use meditative techniques, we might use visualization, storytelling, but basically, we will delve into the energetic patterning behind the issue you are facing. And when I'm working one on one with the person who's sitting in front of me, I will often use crystals or stones to represent the different aspects of your problem. And we will be moving them around the field, what we call the field, which is the morphogenic field in which our problem exists. But also, the morphogenic field is where all of our energy and emotional energy is stored and connected to others. So when you come for a session with me, we will basically be having a chat. And sometimes we'll be going on a journey and a visual journey, and we will be exploring your problem from different perspectives. And we will be looking at how you interplay with the others, the other people related to your problem. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. And do you also make big constellations with several people, like in a room where it's like live? Because I've done that several times.
Yes. So we do group constellations where in a group, people will actually represent the members of your family or the issues that you're facing. So somebody might stand in as a house. If, for example, you're having a problem with your house, somebody will represent the energy of your house. And somebody might represent the energy of your child. So they will, what we call, represent your child. And then they will provide feedback to me as to what energies or feelings that they're picking up on. And we will work within the field to come to a resolution for that problem. And it's often very unusual, the solutions that we find in this field. People are often surprised and astonished at the solutions that come forth from this kind of work.
Hmm, good. Interesting. So I guess you have the people, clients from everywhere in the world also.
Yes, I do. I work with people from around the world. I work with them on Zoom, and I have done constellations in the US and South Africa.
Perfect. You told me when we spoke earlier that nowadays we live in this time where lots of ancestral things have to be cleared up. I notice I do a lot of work like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that with anything, if something isn't working for you, it ought to be examined. And I think there's a lot of things in our society that aren't serving us anymore. And I think that we're at this crucial time where we need to examine where those systems and those things that we use every day, like the banking systems and the education systems and the medical systems, are they actually aiding us or are they hurting us? And it's the same with family constellation. If you can go back and you can look at the things that you've inherited from systems before you, and you can examine and see if these things are serving you or harming you, you can change the outcome. There is no reason not to change things that aren't working. And society as a whole at the moment is examining and taking a critical look at the things that aren't working for us anymore, the things that are hurting us. And I think that there is this crucial time that we're at to do this, both within our families, within our communities, and within society as a whole. And looking at these ancestral beliefs and looking at these systems and examining what works for us and what doesn't work for us so that we can change it for the better and we can change it for those who come after us, our children and our children's children.
I think it's exciting work. And
Very.
yeah, and back in the days, if I look at my family tree, I've got a really big one here that goes back 400 years. I can imagine that such questions were never being raised, so they never thought about these things. They, for example, the women would just have one baby after another and never question, why am I here? Like what we do right now, we are thinking about this.
Yeah, we're at this crucial time where we are able to change what's come before
Mm.
and change it for the better, and so that we have a more holistic, inclusive society going forward.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, it's like a unique situation that we have living in the now, and that we
Absolutely.
can question this and change it.
Absolutely. It's no longer what worked for my father should work for me. We're not that type of people anymore. We're questioning, did it work for me? Did it work for them? And if it's not working, what can I do to change it?
Mm, very true. So, what led you to make these constellations? What happened in your life that brought you to this incredibly amazing topic?
Well, my mother died when I was 6, and I had a very traumatic and disjointed and unhappy childhood. So I was often looking for solutions to heal my own issues. And
Mm.
I went on a long spiritual journey, and I looked at many different modalities and practiced many different practices. But I would always find myself back at the same starting point. And when I started family constellation work for the first time, I was amazed at how quickly, almost instantaneously, I was able to address issues that had been with me my whole life. And once I addressed them, it was like a weight that had been lifted off of me, and I no longer had to carry it. And for me, that was just completely liberating. And when the training for this came about, I just knew I had to do it. The other thing that prompted me on this journey was having my son, who is autistic and also has Tourette's. And like I discussed with you, when he arrived, it was like he had a brochure of this parent who was going to do these things for him, and I didn't match the brochure. I didn't have the skills, and I didn't have the coping mechanisms, and I felt like I was failing him on a daily basis. And I felt that a lot of that failing had to do with my own hangups and my own trauma and my own inability to cope. And so it was very much about healing myself so that I could better parent and support him. And it also led me to question straight away, what works for us as a family? How can I better support my son? And are these things there to support us, or do we need to create new systems?
Mhm. I like the metaphor with the brochure that your
Yeah.
son came with a brochure and that you're gonna get this parent, and then he found out it's not like that.
Yes. And it was like, oh, she doesn't match the brochure. I got sold the wrong product.
Interesting. So you had to adapt because of him?
Yes, we went on a long journey. We have learned so much by learning to meet his needs and learning what um, we need to cast aside, beliefs that don't fit our family and are harmful, in fact, to our family. And we've faced a lot of prejudice and things that we have not faced before. But all of it has taught us um, to be authentic and honest and real about what really works for our families and for our souls and our soul journey. And so it's been a very healing journey, tumultuous, very crazy and chaotic at times, but it is has definitely taught us immense amounts about our own humanity and this human journey that we're on.
Can you give an example of the prejudices that people might have or did have?
Sure. A lot of people in very religious beliefs said that autism wasn't actually a condition, and that it was something sent by the devil, and that um, it was something that that we'd done wrong
Mm.
in order to cause this condition in our son. Um, so this kind of prejudice led him to be isolated, led us to become isolated as well. But what it did for us then is then you have to then question for yourself if um, if those religious beliefs are inclusive and if they work for you or not.
Mm.
Um, so that's one example. But there's been many um, of where his behavior has not fitted what other people assume is acceptable
Yeah.
of a child, where they have had not the empathy and compassion that we have learned through him to have. And they immediately judge us as parents or judge the child as a child with bad behavior and not a child who is battling with something.
Mm. Yeah, I think this it's also an old belief that used to be normal, that to think that an illness or a condition is like God punishing you for something.
Correct.
But today we know that it's not the case. Right.
Simply not true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Simply not true. And it's often the biggest opportunity to learn. The
Mm.
biggest challenges that we face are often the biggest opportunities to learn something about ourselves and something about our humanness, our humanity that makes us human.
Yeah, very nice. I couldn't have said it in a better way, Hayley.
Thank you.
Yeah, the challenges make us unique and they bring forth the unique story that I love to portray in the women that I invite here.
That's true. And everybody's story is unique, and yet collectively all our stories share similar themes, and all of our stories are the same. Um, and I think that's what makes us as the human race so beautiful, just multifaceted.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you're right. And that's helping you with the constellations, I guess, because we're all connected to this field of knowing.
Correct, the knowing field, and it connects us in ways that are profound and deeply moving. And my journey with constellations has really shown me that all our stories have a common threads. All of us just want to be loved. All of us just want to be accepted. All of us just want to be seen and have a meaningful life. And through these stories, although every story is different, there are the same threads that unite us, as you say, in this collective unconscious, in this knowing field.
Yeah. Yeah, we all want the same. We want to be loved, heard, seen,
Absolutely.
connected. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. Do you want to leave a take-home message to anyone who's watching today?
Absolutely. I think what I want to say is that no matter what your story is, and no matter where you come from, there is this collective unity with all souls, and that when one suffers, we all suffer.
Mm.
And that when we understand our soul's journeys and our soul's purposes, which we can investigate with this constellation work so beautifully, we often see the emergence of the love and the unity that exists, which supports us. And when we can understand that we truly are never alone, and we truly are supported, and that truly we have ancestors in the multitudes who have our backs,
Mm.
it's much easier to bear the burdens of our own lives and our own challenges, and also to understand that at any point we are able to change things that aren't working for us. We are able to change the futures of our children by making decisions that are wholesome and healthy for ourselves. And one doesn't need to carry on systems and beliefs that are harmful to oneself. And we can change literally our future and our society by making new decisions, better informed decisions, by understanding how our soul journeys are constantly changing and can be changed at any minute.
Mm. Beautiful. That's very empowering. Thank you, Hayley.
Thank you, Tanja.
So, how can people contact you if they want to work with you?
Okay, so I have a website, which is www.soulledhealing, SOULLEDHEALING, soulledhealing.co.za. I'm also on Facebook with Soul Led Healing. I have a group and a page,
Mm.
and I'm on WhatsApp for those who use WhatsApp. And those details are available on my website and my Facebook page. And I also have a Google listing and on LinkedIn.
Wow, perfect. So, I will put all the links below in the description So if somebody wants to contact you and get a constellation, they can ask you. And I thank you very much for
Thank you so much.
this interview, Hayley.
Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for having me on your channel. I really appreciate it, Tanja.
You're welcome. I appreciate it too. Thanks for your time. So if you are watching today and you would like to see more interviews, you can support me with the GoFundMe campaign that I just created below. Thank you for tuning in and see you next time. Bye.
Bye.